Hello there, my very good friends. On today's After News, does WWE want Chris Jericho back? ?
I've got all the latest on the contract tampering between WWE and AEW.
The AEW All Out 2022 main event has been revealed.
And
Sort of.
And a possible spoiler on an NXT main roster call-up. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm very impressed if you stayed with us beyond that introduction.
And this is the After News. Back once again with the Renegade Master.
The power to the people. That's
Yeah.
the lyrics. I can't remember the bit in between. Right, WWE, do they want Chris Jericho back? Chris Jericho says so.
Whoa.
According to the higher-ups in WWE, he was doing some tweeting the other day, and he quote-tweeted a fan who'd pitched a faction featuring Jericho, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. Canadian guys. Canada.
Do you know what the tag team name for that was going to be?
The Maple Leafs.
No, close. Sorry.
Sorry.
Because they're just polite, aren't they, Canadians?
I've not met too many.
No, coming down to the ring. Sorry.
The Sorry Boys. That doesn't make any sense. What are we on about here?
S-O-R-R-Y. Sorry.
S-O-R-Y. You ain't got no alibi.
You can't spell sorry
You're
either.
sorry. Gee whiz, daffy less, man.
Oh, I love Fridays, man.
Shout-outs to the legends. But right, yeah, Chris Jericho quote-tweeted this fantasy booking and said, well, some higher-ups want that to happen sooner rather than later. And he also used the hashtag tampering, which we're going to talk about a little bit later on. I could absolutely see WWE being interested in bringing Chris Jericho back. I could absolutely see Chris Jericho being interested in going back, but at the same time, I think Chris Jericho is very proud of what he's been able to do in AEW. He's always presented as a locker room leader type figure there, but it is certainly a scenario I could see panning out. You've got some mischief.
He's just such a worker, isn't he? I love it. Yeah, maybe. I've heard. Was you? The source is me.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Sorry, Ben.
I'm Chris Jericho.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, I can see both sides of this.
Yeah.
I always think that, we'll talk about the tampering in a second, as you say. I now think there's a far greater likelihood of WWE being able to tempt people back or across to them. But also it's Chris Jericho. And Chris Jericho's always looking out for Chris Jericho. And that's kind of what's made him the guy that he is today.
Yeah.
Fair play to him.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
And he's also the only one who can really get away with this without people going, what?
Yeah, exactly. He's a funny
But I would not be surprised if, 100% I could see Chris Jericho, I don't know when it's going to be, but ending his career with WWE.
I could see it too.
He's just, you got to respect the hustle. I just love that. Don't know if you've heard, Andy, but I'm hearing reports that a lot of people want to try and sign me. Who's that coming from? Me.
I might tweet that later, actually.
Yeah.
See what happens. The higher-ups want this to happen. I don't know what. Someone fantasy booked me in a angle or something.
Oh, careful. Don't.
Yeah, well, me and the Eel versus Cody Rhodes and Karrion Kross. There we go.
Right, let's talk a little bit more about that contract tampering now that there's been a load of speculation on recently. It was even referenced in that, I was going to say Town Hall. I've got Chris Jericho on the brain here. The parlay that Tony Khan had with all the talents.
Inner Circle Powwow of Doom featuring Eric Bischoff. Yeah.
So it was referenced, obviously, in that meeting that Tony Khan had with talent ahead of Dynamite. And according to Dave Meltzer on the latest episode of Wrestling Observer Radio, there are more than one attempts from WWE to contact and tamper with AEW talent, basically. Dave saying there isn't just one person to pick a name when it comes to contract tampering allegations. And also, PW Insider revealed that Mega Parek, the chief...
Mighty Mega.
The chief legal officer of AEW had emailed co-CEOs Nick Khan and Stephanie McMahon telling them, stop doing this.
Yeah.
Do not tamper.
Hey, WWE, leave our wrestlers alone. That doesn't work.
But yes,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, I get it too. We spoke about this a few weeks ago, didn't we? When the story first came out. And people are bound to contracts. It's wild that they would contact someone who's bound to a contract. Like, what are they going to do? Go, oh, yeah, I'll just sit and do nothing for 3 years while this thing winds down. is a weird situation.
It's weird. We're so used to this in like football circles, aren't we?
Yeah.
Soccer for our American viewers.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically, in football, they go, "When's your contract running out? Yeah, don't sign a new one. Just come and sign for us."
But yeah, it's wild.
I'm not surprised by this. It's honest, everyone bloody does it. But yes,
it's wild.
Understandable that the two biggest ones don't really want to be having to fight for their talent.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like Formula One. I've been watching Drive to Survive recently. It's a wonderful soap opera. It's a great soap opera. And it seems like drivers there just like leave halfway through the contract.
Yes.
And then it's like,
It's
hey,
weird, isn't it, F1?
Yeah, I'm going to be here for the half of the season, but I'm leaving, so why would you care about it? It's weird. It's strange.
I really got into F1 and I hate it. Ever since Lewis Hamilton got screwed at the end of last season, I was like, oh, what's the bloody point?
Yeah, I mean, I'm into the show. Like,
but it's banter, that show.
Yeah,
I'll give
it makes
you that.
a lot. I understand it generates a lot of fake drama, but drama's the best thing about sport, right?
Exactly.
So what's the problem? I don't know if I'll sit down and watch a race. I will say that Toto Wolff is a Rolls Royce of a man. He's fantastic.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
He's sensational, and I like Daniel Ricciardo as well.
Yeah, and Christian Horner's a bitch.
Yeah,
so.
Max Verstappen is a cyborg with no emotion.
I love this.
Right, next.
Yeah, more Daniel Ricciardo. Just give him his own show.
Formula One wrestling news.
He's leaving whoever he's driving for.
He's leaving McLaren.
Yeah.
McLaren is a vibe of
He
a
can
team.
drive for Audi. That was on my news today.
Audi?
Yeah, they're coming to F1 in. Hang on, I think I still have it. 2026. There you go.
Boom. There we go.
So if you want to follow WhatCulture F1, me and Andy are going to start that soon.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
Two guys who know so much about F1. Bring back Ralph Schumacher. What's he up to these days?
I don't know.
Like
No
Ralph.
idea. We can drive. Andy, we're going to be test driving my Renault Capture today.
What's Nigel Mansell up to?
Who's the one with the big chin? Coulthard.
Coulthard, yeah.
What piece.
Yeah. I mean, he was Scottish as well, so
Yes.
thumbs up. Did he ever win? Right, that was like 2 minutes of
He won a
Formula
Silverstone.
One.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe he need to drive his home country,
Okay,
Wales.
the
Around the Principality. Clash of the Castle.
The main event of All Out 2022.
Oh, go on.
It's David Coulthard versus Mika Hakkinen. No, right, so obviously coming out of Dynamite, there were a lot of questions surrounding what the main event was going to be because Jon Moxley beat CM Punk so decisively, with the story being that Punk's foot might still be injured and all of that stuff and surgically repaired and yada yada yada. Left the big question of what's going to be the main event at All Out, because it would be quite difficult to get back to that match believably in a week and a half, but yeah, that's what they're doing. Dave Meltzer, Wrestling Observer Radio, reporting that the All Out main event is planned to be Punk versus Moxley again. I have absolutely no idea how they're going to get to that, but I look forward to taking the journey and finding out.
Yeah, exactly. Me and the Dadleys did a podcast about what needs to happen at All Out. I think the video for that comes out today, so pretend you haven't heard that story when you watch that video. But you can also listen to it, WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcast from, and us speculating about a whole load of other things surrounding All Out as well. Yeah, I'm fascinated because I was the one not like akin to you and Sidge, who was like, well, this is great, this is fantastic. I just sort of went full on huff mode when that title match went down. But
it was one or the other, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I'm 100%, let it play out. Again, I can't really not be when I was the guy saying let it play out with Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch at SummerSlam last year. So I'm fascinated because I do have faith. Mox, Punk, Tony Khan putting their heads together, and they didn't have to. Basically, my brain goes that they've surely got something planned, and especially because they didn't have to have the title match this week. Obviously, it did great for the ratings, but there was no one going, you need to do this match now. Everyone was like, oh, cool, so they're going to fight it all out, because it was like 2 weeks away anyway. So who knows what they're going to do, but it's going to be fascinating to see what the ratings are next week, to see who tuned in, to see what the fallout from all this is, and like you say, how on earth they rebuild a title match on what 4 days notice or whatever it bloody is.
It's
with the guy who just got soundly beaten, although the injury stuff, like, who knows? Maybe he's just gonna he's gonna cut his foot off and just have a robot foot, and he'll be like, I'm fine now.
Yeah, I'm
so
a cyborg, isn't it? I'm Max Verstappen. Yeah, absolutely.
Best in the world, my ass.
Very high, big challenge ahead for them. But
Yes.
let's see what happens. If it's bad, we'll say it's bad, and if it's good, we'll say it's good.
Exactly.
That's how it works.
Because we're shills for both companies, as
Yeah.
often people say.
We get that
What are we
daily.
today? Let's check the...
Yeah, check the
okay,
Rolodex. See who we're shilling
Bloody
for.
win, can you?
Yeah, you
right, let's conclude by talking...
Twitter's not real, I would just
Yeah,
like
it's
to...
a good point. That deafening silence when Max Caster referenced the backstage meeting was definite evidence.
Oh,
of that.
absolutely. Shoutouts to backup Hollywood hangman Adam Page Pierce, the great man on Twitter
Indeed.
for that.
But yes, let's
He's
conclude.
dead right.
Yeah, let's conclude by talking a little bit about a main roster call-up from a star of NXT. It's Tony the Angel. No, it's not. I wish it was. It's actually the brilliant Solo Sikoa, who, according to Mike Johnson of PW Insider, the other king of the mic, game recognised game, It could be called up very soon to the main roster. A lot of talk over the last week, says Mike, about moving him to the main roster. It could even happen as soon as next month. Now, I think Sikoa's out with an injury right now. But obviously, you may have known already that he is the brother of Jimmy and Jey Uso. He's 29 years old. There's already been a whole heap of speculation about whether or not he could get involved in the whole bloodline storyline. Look, I really like Solo Sikoa. Yeah. I think he's got a lot to offer. And yeah, there's spiciness involved in bringing him up and acknowledging that he's related to people.
Yeah, well, I obviously think that Solo Sikoa has benefited immensely over the past while from benefiting with the all-time great worker Von Wagner, of course. So I think maybe
you got to have
heart. I think it's like you could put me in a Rolls Royce and it would look good, right? Like you need to realize that. Okay, I'm being facetious. Solo Sikoa is really good.
He's so talented.
He's really good. I've liked him since he was Sefa Fatu on the Indies. I think he's been main roster ready for ages.
Yeah. Quite a few of them now in NXT. Like there's some that are very green, and then there's the other end of the scale there, isn't there?
Yeah, so it's an interesting balance of talent down there for sure. But yeah, I think he's at the top end of that brand for sure. He's great. He's awesome. There's lots of like fun story stuff you can do with him and the Usos, obviously. Yeah.
Get Mello on the main roster, man. Carmelo Hayes is so talented.
Both of them.
Trick is just a fantastic.
He's got work to do between the ropes. Yeah. I think that's fair. But as a double act, they rule.
But yeah, best luck to Solo Sikoa. More bloodline stuff. I love the bloodline. We're the ones. Honorary use right here. Me and Sami Zayn.
Yep, okay. You got similar energy as Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Right, let us know your thoughts on that and all of today's news stories in the comments section.
I'm more of a Von Wagner energy guy. Like, no charisma.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.
Big brow.
Check out our news from earlier on today. Yeah. We talked a bit.
Formula One.
Did we?
No.
We talked more like Thunder Rosa and Eels and stuff
Cardiff.
More details on that on today's earlier news.
Backyard.
And if you want to, you can listen to it as a podcast while you're out and about as well, by the way. WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcast from, where which also you'll find
particularly good to pick up on the visual gags.
Yeah, that's always the best. Yeah. Also, you can find our SmackDown and Rampage previews there and WrestleCulture with a hashtag Bloody Good Quiz. We're not going to be here on Monday because it's bank holiday.
We're never here these days, are we?
We don't do Mondays, me and Andy.
We got a tweet the other day and it was like, hey, what the hell's going on with your upload schedule these days, boys? And I'm just like, hey, my friend, the new owners keep giving us days off. It's awesome. So there we go.
Thank you very much.
Most love.
Yeah, but we'll be back on Tuesday. In the meantime, you can follow us on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. You can follow Andy Murray at
Andy H. Murray. The H stands for that's a car.
Hakkinen.
There you go.
Who's the Kimi Räikkönen?
He's a weird guy. He's a strange man. Him.
Let us know in the comment section which Formula One drivers we're most like.
Oh, I'm Kevin Magnussen, right? Because I'm a bit aggressive, but not really that good.
Yeah.
That's me.
I'm going to go Lando Norris.
I love his name. Because you're on Twitch streaming constantly. Yeah.
Should I get on Twitch? I'm going to go on Twitch.
Alex Albon, he seems really nice.
Yeah.
I like him. Even though he was associated with the horrible brand Red Bull.
In the comments, biggest heel and biggest babyface in F1. I want to know.
Oh, man.
We'll follow this up next week.
You know who's got the weirdest energy in F1? Gunter from Haas. He's a strange man.
For some reason, I immediately pictured Walter and a god squash himself.
Michael Hamflett.
I'm at Adam Wilwell on Twitter. We're all at WhatCulture WWE.
Yeah.
It's Friday. What do you expect from this news?
Yeah, we talk about cars and eels. I don't even drive.
Right, he can't drive. I can drive. Well, he can drive.
I can. I just don't. Yeah.
He can. He just chooses not to.
Yeah.
Which is even
That's
big.
the power. I got the power.
Indeed.
Take that, Lamborghini.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.